After a bit of experience, the diva of mistresses suggests if you become one, you have to accept one bitter truth. The reason he won't leave his wife is because he loves her more than he loves you. Because of her first-hand infidelity knowledge, mistresses flock to Sarah Symonds for advice. She is the author of a handbook on the subject, and as far as we know, she is the world's first and only infidelity analyst and a totally recovered mistress. It is my pleasure to welcome Sarah Symonds to Studio 4 to tell us more. I know no one should say totally recovered, but I'm suspecting you're pretty close, if not there.
I think it's been a journey, but yes, I'm pretty close. Yeah, it's a work in progress, can we say, Fanny?
Always is. Take me back to the younger Sarah Symonds, inside the mind of Sarah Symonds.
Basically, I was surrounded by these type of guys, you know, high-profile, jet-setting, cheating men, and so I almost became as bad as them. I was living in that world. I had a very sexy job in PR, in hotels and hospitality, London, LA, and New York. You know, so I was living in that world and fell off. My moral compass got skewed. A
little skewed. Did your father cheat? Your mother cheat?
No,
your grandmother? Your grandfather?
No, my parents have just celebrated their 60th wedding anniversary, so I'm like the Antichrist in our family.
I'm sure, but don't you wonder if you really knew? Because certainly your father's not going to tell your mother.
I don't want to go there, Fanny. Please, my father's my idol.
Okay, let's not. So, you now help women get out of toxic relationships. When did that start? And why?
It started in 2007. I had my heart broken by a married man, and some people would say I deserved it. I was completely led along the garden path. Nothing of what he said ever came true, so I literally had my heart smashed to pieces. So I thought I can either go under here, or I can write a book and try and help other women not go through that ordeal. And that's literally what I did. I poured my emotions into my handbook. I set up the society Mistresses Anonymous against all odds. You know, everybody said, this is crazy, this is not going to go anywhere. And to date, I've helped hundreds of thousands of women get out of that toxic lifestyle.
And you've helped them on TV and off TV. I saw you with Dr. Phil yesterday, obviously a pre-tape. You've been on Larry King, you've been on Oprah, you've talked to mistresses, you've talked to husbands, all of the above. Take me back to your very first affair. What didn't you know?
I fell into that world at a very young age. I was 22 when I left home, and at 22 in those days was very young. You know, we didn't have social networking sites, we didn't have mobile phones. I'm showing my age here. It's not very Hollywood, is it?
That's okay.
But, you know, I was a very naive 22-year-old, and so I fell into I took the wrong path, basically. And so from one dysfunctional relationship, you tend to go into the next. And that's a pattern. And that's why I started Mistresses Anonymous, because anything that's affecting your life that's so dysfunctional, having an affair is dysfunctional. No woman with her game on, with her act together, would ever accept to be second best in somebody's life.
Do you think mistresses are always second best?
Absolutely, yeah. Because
why?
Well, they're second best. They're always in competition with the wife. The wife is at home, you know, and so you're always in competition. You're in love with a married man. He's unavailable, and you feel you're in competition with the woman who he's married to.
But what if you're getting the Mercedes and the earrings and you don't have to do the laundry, and you're staying in the fancy 5-star hotels and you're swanning around in the bathrobes and you don't have...
You're speaking from experience, yeah, Fanny?
No, not at all.
Don't do a Barbara Walters on me, please. We have words.
No, I won't. But the drudgery, you know, you don't have the drudgery. Maybe you're the type of woman, perhaps, who does not want a permanent partner.
And you know what? If that works for that type of woman, then absolutely fine. My aim is to empower women to live in the truth. If that's the lifestyle you want, fine. Just don't get your heart broken. Don't believe the empty promises and the lies that this man will tell you, because all you're doing when you're having an affair with a married man, especially if you love him, is you're just helping his marriage survive, basically, you know. So if you're using him as much as he's using you, okay, go ahead.
Have you figured out at a psychological level why women have affairs with married men? Like, what drives that?
These days it is hard to find a decent single guy. They're either all married or gay, but it's not an excuse, okay? And I do urge women not to have affairs for that reason. Better to be single, and it's fine to be alone, you know, rather than fall into an affair. I think a lot of the time you can't always help who you fall for. You know, sometimes the most charismatic, attractive men you have chemistry with are married. And sometimes these men don't always tell you they're married to begin with, or they'll tell you they're separated. You know, the whole currently separated line gets me. It's just like leaving, you know, the door ajar. Able to walk back to his wife.
My wife doesn't understand me. We know the drill.
We're having a break, we're separated, we're going to get divorced. You know, come back when you're divorced.
Right. And the other dilemma is, and Shania Twain has now written about her disaster. She's okay now. She's married to a beautiful French man.
And she traded up. He's far better looking than the first husband.
Than Mutt. Yes, I agree. But that said, her best friend and secretary was having a fling, more than a fling, with her husband. And she talked to her best friend and secretary and said, do you think something's wrong with Mutt? Things don't seem so good. And this girl, your best friend, lies to you. That astounds me. That, really, that your best girlfriend cheats on you.
Absolutely. I mean, infidelity is built on a web of lies, but like you said, to be that close to it and to be lying to your best friend at the same time as having an affair with a husband. But, you know, in the world of show business, you know, I'm an infidelity analyst because so many people in show business are having affairs. And I love Shania Twain as much as the next person, but when you're so busy with your career, like she is, and like other movie stars and singers are, sometimes you don't always have enough time or energy left to give your husband the affection and the emotion he needs. And that's probably why he strayed with the best friend who was probably the girl next door, literally. You know, so
well,
people
literally.
say, why would somebody cheat on Shania?
But they were a couple friends. To me, that's the greatest deceit. That's the height of it.
Yeah.
Like it's one thing.
That's a no-no. That's number one rule in infidelity.
That's a real no-no. With
not
my
that
girlfriends,
close to home.
we just say death. You know, or there's certainly we have control, and we can say, and I hate to be judgmental about this because I know things happen. But even if your girlfriend is married to Mr. Drop-Dead, gorgeous, fabulous man, you just have to say, my girlfriend's husband. Not going there. Do I think he's sexy and lovely? Yes, but my girlfriend's husband, not going there.
And that's my message to women, Fanny. Walk away from the married man. Even if he flirts with you, even if he comes on to you, it's our responsibility to say, no, you know what? I'm not going there. I deserve better. I want a proper relationship with a single guy, somebody I can have a future with. Walk away from the married man. You
know, some women, many wives whose marriages have gone asunder because of an affair, will blame the woman and not their husband. What's
drives
that
me crazy.
about?
Usually when an affair is exposed, nobody wants to look at themselves, so it's very easy to use somebody as a scapegoat. And the line about home wreckers and husband stealers cracks me up. You cannot steal somebody. You know, you cannot kidnap them. It's illegal, and you can't lift up somebody else's head. But, you know, they have to want to stray. There's something wrong at home. But sometimes wives don't want to look at themselves. And I'm not saying the wives are at fault, but it takes two people to make a marriage work, and it takes two people to make it not work.
And often mistresses do not know the wife. Have no idea.
And often mistresses become like a second wife, you know, they become a confidant, a best friend, a soulmate, and that's the heartbreaking thing, and that's why I set up Mistresses Anonymous. And I've heard from so many women living in Vancouver just since I've been here this week, living the life of a mistress. I've got about 15 women coming to my meetings tonight.
Really? And are there threads that run through every story?
Yes.
Every mistress says what?
I can tell you that every mistress that writes to me, the subject matter of the email is, help me. Please help me, Sarah. I've got nobody else to talk to. So I'm only ever hearing from women who are living in the despair of the affair. And I'm here to rescue those women, get them out. You know, they're living in a toxic situation. Women who are having affairs for up to 11 years, 15 years. That's longer than some marriages last. And basically, when you're in love with somebody who's unavailable, it's absolutely heartbreaking. The reason you can't get out is because you don't have the strength to look at yourself and say, hey, I deserve more than this. So that's why I'm here, to empower them to get out of that lifestyle.
Take me back to the time you made headlines.
Which headlines?
Not every,
so many.
Well, but not everybody does, as you know. There are many people having an affair, and they're not. It's not in the newspaper. But you made headlines with Lord Archer, was it? So, how did that happen?
The headlines or the affair?
The affair. I mean, he's powerful, he's bright, he's intelligent,
absolutely.
he's good looking.
I'll be honest with you, Fanny, I was flattered. He was on the run-up to be Mayor of London at the time, and he offered me a position on his mayoral campaign. Just didn't realise all the positions it entailed, quite frankly. So it was exciting, you know, but you know, as any infidelity is wrong, it leads nowhere. You know, I wished I hadn't got involved with him and so many others, but you know.
Well, a cowboy once said, don't waste the pretty. And I think what he meant by that, and he was a he, obviously, is if you're a young, beautiful, vibrant female, what are you doing with a man who's 20 years older, married, never going to leave his wife?
Exactly.
Well, sometimes they do. It's
very rarely.
unusual.
You know what? Usually if they leave the wife, it's because the wife has kicked them out. And who wants a man who's been kicked out? It's even worse. If he's going to leave, let him leave his wife for you, not because she's thrown him out.
And often anybody who gets into a situation like this is warned. You know, believe me, he'll never, no matter what he says, he will never leave his wife. He has an arrangement with his wife. Perhaps his wife knows, and perhaps not.
Often is the case,
But
yes.
he's committed to the kids and the family and
Always
the lifestyle.
excuses.
And whatever he tells you, don't believe it.
And rule of thumb is, if he's going to leave his wife for you, he'll do it in the first 3 to 6 months. If he doesn't leave within that window, he's never leaving, and all you're doing is being a crutch to his marriage. And I had the guy who broke my heart said he was able to be a better father and husband because of me. His affair with me led him to be a better person. So I'm at home, you know, in bits, crying my eyes out, and he's being a better man.
Sure.
You know, so it's
Well,
crazy.
and all the girlfriend warnings. If he would do it to her, he'll eventually do it to you.
If he'll cheat with you, he'll cheat on you.
He'll cheat on you, and not always so. I have a friend, believe it or not. We all have a friend. But when we said to her, she was having an affair with a married man, we said, don't go there. You'll get hurt. Your heart will be broken. He'll never leave his wife. Alas, alack. He not only left her, they have had this fabulous marriage,
There's always
and they're still
exceptions
madly
to
in
the
love.
rule.
So one exception to the rule still doesn't make it right, but the blame part and the guilt part, like, let's get over that.
Exactly. Let's not be, you know, let's all get off our lofty high horses here. Sometimes you do really marry the wrong person, or you grow apart. Things change. But I'm all for, if you meet somebody else, get out of that marriage, make a new life. There's many second marriages that work, many extended families that are successful. Don't stay in the marriage and cheat on your partner. Get out of it or make it work.
And that works both ways. Male having an affair, female having an affair, because women have affairs too.
Interestingly enough, 30% of the women who come to my Mistresses Anonymous Society meetings are married women. So they're real-life desperate housewives having affairs behind their husband's back.
Ooh.
30%.
Do you think some of it is just the naughtiness of it, or the intrigue, or the drama, because the marriage is so boring, or what is it?
I think you hit a nail on the head. They were boring. I mean, life can become boring. Marriages get stale, and sometimes it's easier. People think it's easier to go and look for escapism somewhere else. All it does is cause more problems, though. I'm all for, as I said, sitting down with your partner saying, we got a problem here. You know, can we figure this out, or shall we part?
Yes, and I don't know about the socioeconomics of it all, but I don't see too many women having an affair with poor men, with starving artists. Sometimes.
It happens.
But it
usually
happens.
just for the sex.
But usually it's, you know, power and glory, and then you see him on the front page of the paper with his lovely family, and the kids are on the Christmas card, and you know you're not in the loop.
Absolutely.
We'll come back with Sarah Symonds.